using C, lecture number 18, matrix addition and multiplication. In this lecture, we will input numbers into two n cross m matrices and find the sum of these two matrices, and also we will find the product of two matrices. One example here for matrix addition. As you see, there are two matrices, matrix 1, matrix 2, and this is the resultant matrix, which is the sum of these two matrices. As you see here, in this case, 3 plus 1 gives me 4. 4 plus 5 gives me 9. So therefore, A11 plus B11 gives me C11. A12 plus B12 gives me C12. Therefore, the general formula is very simple. Cij is equal to Aij plus Bij, and that formula you're going to use in finding out the sum of these two matrices. One more example here. There are two matrices. There are 3 cross 3 matrices, and I want to find the sum of these A plus B. I just cannot put A plus B. I have to do it in algorithm, looping structure statements. So I take the first element, add it to the first element of B, and I get the resulting 3. Minus 2 gives me 1, minus 5 minus 1 gives me minus 6, 4 plus 1 gives me 5, etc. So this is how we do the addition of these two matrices. So to do that, first you write the flow chart with the pseudocode and then C program to input some numbers. And remember, first part is, as we have been doing, you have to have declare your variables, declare 3 matrices A, B and C with appropriate rows and columns, numbers for rows and columns, and then you do input numbers into A and B and find the sum of these two matrices and display the content of the matrix. Here I show you the algorithm, part of the flowchart for the addition of these two matrices. So here for I is equal to 1 to n, that refers to the rows of my matrices. Here this refers to the column of these matrices. So Aij, when I is equal to 1, I come to the first row, then it comes to J, first column, second column, third column, I add. I take the A11 plus B11, put it in C11. Then A12 plus B12 becomes C12, and A13 plus B13 gives me C13. Then I come to A equal to 2. Again, 2 A21 plus B21 gives me C21, etc. So that way I go row by row and column by column, add these numbers and put it in the respective rows and columns Cij, and this is how find the sum of two matrices, and then you print the content of the matrix. So this comes to part of the C program. I have not shown you the inputting of numbers, etc. Here I am just displaying the content of the first matrix. I display the content of 3 cross 4. I made it simple here, 3 cross 4 matrix. And then here I have got doing the summation, finding the sum of these two matrices. As you see, Cij equal to Aij plus Bij. Then I display the content of Cij. Again, you need to have two looping statements, and then you say printf %d. You can give /t, etc. And then you have to go to the next row here as you have done earlier. So with that, we print the content of the matrix. Here I've got some examples here. So content of the first matrix, I've entered that. I've not shown you part of that. So I've entered 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And here in the second matrix, I've entered 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Immediately know the sum has to be 5, 5, 5, 5. So this is how you test your programs. You select appropriate values and enter those appropriate values and check whether the sum is correct. One more way of doing is enter only 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and the next may be 3, 3, 3 or 4, 4, 4, 4, and immediately you know the sum. You don't have to add, etc. You can do it in your mind and you know that your program is correct. Then only you use some other values, 0, -1, 10, 20, etc. and see whether your program is correct. Very, very important. And that is how you check, you do your matrix. With that, we come to matrix multiplication, a little more complicated concept, but not very difficult. Now, in the case of addition of matrices, the dimension of both the matrices has to be the same. Both of them had to be either 3 cross 3, 3 cross 4, 2 cross 4, whatever it is. It should have been the same dimension, n cross m. Then only you can do the addition of two matrices. But when we come to multiplication, as you see, one example is given here. You have got a 2 cross 3 matrix here. You are multiplying it with 3 cross 2 matrix. In other words, there are 3 columns here and there are 3 rows. That is very important. So number of columns in the first matrix has to be equal to number of rows in the second matrix, and then only you can do the multiplication of two matrices. Therefore, 2 cross 2, 2 rows into 2 columns. Here 2 rows into 2 columns gives me 2 cross 2. Here 2 rows into 3 columns, 3 rows into 2 columns gives me 2 cross 2. A resultant is 2 cross 2 in both the cases, because the extreme, you have to consider the extreme, the number of rows and number of columns. Here, for example, 2 cross 3 can be multiplied with 3 cross 4, and the resultant matrix is 2 cross 4. As you see, 2 cross 4. If this is 3 cross 5, I will get a 2 cross 5 matrix. Therefore, general formula is n cross p into p cross m will give me n cross m. And please remember that you have to check whether the number of columns of the first matrix is equal to number of rows of the second matrix. Then only you proceed with the multiplication of these two matrices. And with that, we come here to explain how you do the multiplication. So what you have to do is you have to take item by, you take the row here and take the elements of the column. Take the first element, multiply with the first element of this column and put it in, and like that you do the second element of the row and second element of the column, third element of the row, third element of the column, and multiply them and find the sum of those and put it in C11. That is the first row, first column. Then you take again the same row. You are taking the same row, multiply with the second column and put it here. Then save elements of the same row, 1 into 1, then 3 into 1 and 2 into 1, as is 1 into 1, 3 into 1, 2, and add them and put it here. And similarly, you take the second row then and multiply with the first column, multiply with the second column, multiply with the third column, and put the value sum in respective rows, second row and respective columns. Similarly, 1, 2 to multiply with the first column elements, multiply with second column elements, multiply with third column elements, find the sum and put it here. Therefore, the formula is this: Cij is equal to Cij plus Aik into Bkj. Now this represents the multiplication. So A11 into B11 plus A12 into B21, etc. It goes on like that. This is the algorithm for that. Please remember this formula. So Cij is equal to Cij plus Aik into Bkj. So with that we write the flow chart. Only I'm giving you only that part of the flow chart where we do the multiplication. As you see here, in this case, we are going to have 3 looping statements. These two are for the rows and columns of my resultant matrix. I is equal to 1 to n and j is equal to 1 to m. So that is represents here. Then I come inside. I initialize Cij is equal to 0. As I said, Cij equal to Cij plus multiplication of these various elements. So therefore, please remember this. This has to be initialized here, not somewhere there, because I have to get the value Cij. So Cij is equal to 0 plus. Then I take the first element of the first row, multiply with the first element of the first column of B, and then add it to this. Then I take the second element of the k becomes 2, so it becomes 1 2 into 2 1, because j is still 1. We are at 1 1 only. J, so and then go on doing that. Then k becomes 2, k becomes 3. So I multiply with the second element with the second element of the column, third element of the row with the third element of the column, and I add those. As you see, add and add it to the previous sum. Then I go to the next I. Then it comes to I becomes 2. Again j becomes 1. J becomes 1. That is 2, 1. So then I do the summation, multiplication and summation, etc. So this is how you do the multiplication of these two matrices and get the value for the resultant matrix. So you have to do that. I would like you to spend a lot of time thinking about this. Take some examples, and first you work manually some of these, and test with the same value. You test your program and get the results. So that is very important. I would like to spend, I'm not going to give you the flow chart, complete flow chart and C program this time. I would like you to spend time and then get the results for this program. So this is what you have to do. Pause and write C program to input some numbers into two n cross p and p cross m matrices. First to get the value for n, p and m, and then find the product of these two matrices.